I'd just like to tell you about my new book, my second book, Travels Through the Spanish Civil War, which came out at the end of November through Hurst, published by Hurst. It's taken me quite a few years to write. It's been a bit of a journey. It started off as, I guess, a little bit of frustration in the fact that I felt I knew a reason about the war in Barcelona. That's what I've written the most about, the Spanish Civil War in Barcelona. But I really didn't know much about anything else, so I started going on a series of road trips around the Spanish Civil War, going to places where the war was fought and where things happened, meeting people, meeting historians, journalists, descendants, and on a couple of occasions people who were actually involved, and I've threaded that whole thing into a kind of travelogue, falling into rabbit holes along the way. It begins in Barcelona, in Plaza Catalunya, which is where I begin my normal tours, and ends as I do my normal tours in Austria. Through this story, I've threaded different experiences of different characters. A young photographer who was born 30 metres from where I live, a young athlete at the start of the Spanish Civil War gets caught up in everything, a German international brigader, but a more obviously George Orwell. I'm really happy with the way Hurst has put together the book as an object. It's just so well done. I mean, look, I love the font for a start. There's about 80, no, that's not true, 60 odd photographs. A lot of them are from my collection of the walking museum of the Spanish Civil War, and there's a lot of photographs of the places I visit. Let's put those a bit higher, as you can see here. About most of the book is set in Catalonia and Aragon. I kind of originally intended to go further afield into the Madrid area, even down south into Andalusia, but I ran out. Well, that never happened. There is a trip to the Valley of the Fallen, Franco's memorial grave. Horrible place if you've been. There's quite a lot in France, in the exile routes into France and across the border into France and to Paris. So the book does not end in 1939 and does not end in Spain. What else can I say? Oh, the front cover. I was really pleased when I found this photograph. It's by one of the greatest photographers of the war, one of the greatest photographers in Spanish history probably, Agustí Centelles. And this is on the Aragon front, this one. I really liked it. One, because you just got, on a simple level, you got the idea of driving into the past, which is what first struck me. But then, of course, you've also got quite a remarkable juxtaposition in the sense that he's in a very modern piece of machinery. Perhaps it's a Ford. He's taking the photo with the state-of-the-art Leica camera, but outside there's a much older Spain. You know, people are on horseback on a dusty road, and you really do get that contrast in the Spanish Civil War between much older ways of killing people together with ultra modern ways, as you do in the world wars. So a lot of the book, as I say, is travelling around Catalonia and Aragon, and I'm going to the places and trying to evoke them and trying to imagine what it was like then. I do think that when you go to places, it really can spark the imagination and make you think about history in different ways by being in the places. So if you do read it, I hope you'll get that feeling. It's just to go back from what I said, and people have told me read it, they feel as it, it does feel like a little, it's not a guidebook at all, but it does feel like perhaps, I hope you're travelling a little bit with me while I'm telling you these stories. It's a Spanish story, it's a Catalan story, but also it's a very international story, the Spanish Civil War, of course. So there's a lot about international brigaders. There's a chapter accompanying George Orwell's son to Aragon. There's stuff about Poland in the Spanish Civil War and Ireland in the Spanish Civil War. So often these stories came up not because I planned to bring them up, because it's people I happened to meet
on the way or on my tours in Barcelona, and I was just struck by those stories, so I just included them. Anyway, I'm sure I could say a lot more, but thank you very much.